Okay, this young man I'm about to bring in, he's a son of God, a husband, a father, a pastor. He is a live video coach. He gives you the step-by-step guide and the practical tutorials for do-it-yourself video creators who learn visually. He's the one and only Kirk Nugent. Hey, Kirk.
Hey, man, I'm excited to be here, man. What's good, Brother D?
Hey, man, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Hey, listen, man, I I just want to say to you off the top that, man, I'm on here for a while and, I'm doing my thing. But one day I came across you, bro, and because you relaxed me, you know what I mean? You know how you just be like, how to do this, how to do that, how to do this.
Yeah.
And it's like the way you come across, you're laid back with it, man. And I was like, all right, we can get this done, man. So I just want to let you know, man, that you really are a help, man. Your voice, your delivery is therapeutic, brother.
It's therapeutic. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I really appreciate that. It's always, it's always good to hear that kind of feedback, because every time we get to know how people are interacting with the content. How does it come across? I mean, we get a lot of comments on our videos, but most of them are asking further questions about what was shared. Not a lot of times do people come back and say, hey, man, when you said it like this, man, it just kind of brought it down and allowed me to just like, okay, all right, let me follow this thing through and see if it will work. So I really appreciate that, man. I really do.
Oh, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Yeah. Yeah. So, I had to know about you, bro. I said, I gotta invite this brother and I gotta find out about him. So can you give us, a brief, outline of who you are?
Yeah, man. So I like to call myself a self-professed Jesus geek, right? So I'm a tech nerd is the term, right? Because I just keep on, I always love everything tech, right? Everything IT and everything information technology. My degree was in engineering technology, right? Management. So that was it. I bachelor's of science in engineering technology. Wow. That was my degree.
Really?
And just really just went. I guess I've always brought an analytical mind to the spaces that I exist in. So whether it be project management, as a CIO, leading a team, or even as a missionary in South Africa, installing an ERP and traveling the globe to train different teams of different cultures and backgrounds. And it was just, I always brought this, I wonder how we can do this kind of thing to the scenario. And I recognize that there's just so many aspects of my story, different things that God has allowed me to experience, that he's kind of, he's been typing, he's been at the keyboard, writing my story. And as I take the time to look back and recount some of the things that he's allowed me to experience, I realize that I can bring all of it to bear now in the spaces that I'm currently existing in. So being able to share on YouTube is just, it's calling from those days where I was literally a trainer for a global NGO, traveling the world, training different teams and having to figure out ways to train them in their own language, if that makes sense, right? We were all speaking English, but you want to be able to speak the language of those that you're actually training, because that's the best way for it to come across. So I take all of that stuff to YouTube. I take my broadcast background, my video background, I take my technical background, but of course my love for God and my faith. I take all of that to YouTube, and God has just kind of blown things up for us over there. It's just been absolutely amazing to see what he does. But as you mentioned, I'm a live video coach. I believe that your live stream is your digital storefront. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Your live stream is your digital storefront, because there's no greater way for people to experience what you have to offer the world than for them to see you do it live. When they see you do it live, they don't need the ad campaign. They don't need the taste test. They don't need to be won over. They've seen you do it live. They know it's not a gimmick. It's not a game. Wow. This is the real deal. And so now that I've seen you do it live, now the only question is, how do we work together? If I have need of what you have, of what you do, then I just want to make sure that we can work together. And so I encourage coaches, authors, consultants. I encourage CEOs, business leaders, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. I encourage anybody who has a product or service or a ministry to go live. Share that with the world.
Amen.
Yeah. Share it with the
Let me
world.
tell you,
So,
Kirk,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your
No,
thought.
I'm done. I was just going to kick it right back over to you. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but you know, man, for when I was doing me and my wife, we were doing Praise the Lead for like 14 years, man, and when we were in the studio at the radio station, I would always bring my phone. I would do the off camera interviews. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sort of like Byron Allen back in the day, and now Valid TV is bit that no, mom.
Oh, we going back now?
yeah, man. But so, and I was telling him, and God gave me I became president of the station, and I was like, I wanted to implement something. I said, listen, we have to go on video. I said, if you're comfortable with just having a thing, you don't have to operate it. Just turn it on. I said, get some of your best interviews on video. I said, this way it's easy for people, because everyone is not an audio person. Some people, as you said, they visualize.
Right.
We're in a different world right now. I'm just saying to agree with you, to say you're absolutely right. And man, the board shot me down. No, Daryl, you don't know. The program director, I don't want people to be think they're stars. And I said I can't. I said we can't get in people's minds of what we think they think they are. But
yeah,
we know where the world is going. I said we have 10 years old and 15 years old on YouTube making money. You know what I mean, and growing. Everyone know. I said we cannot stand still and act like, radio is just going to just remain what it is. It's not going to remain what it is. It has to morph.
Absolutely.
It has to morph.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've seen different iterations of radio, and it's really, kind of one of the things you were saying there is, how do you stay, on top of the wave? How do you not become the Blockbuster of your industry, right? How do you not become, because they missed it. The internet wave came, Netflix came. In fact, Netflix actually offered Blockbuster for them to buy them. Like Blockbuster could have bought Netflix, and they missed it. You know what I'm saying? They completely missed it. And so now Blockbuster is completely folded. Nobody bought Blockbuster. Nobody helped them because they missed the wave. They missed the moment. They bet on what was sure. I said it this way. When I got a chance when I get a chance to talk with people who are also in trying to navigate that space of, this is too new. I'm not really certain what's going on here. I often share this one statement to them. When the automobile was first introduced in American society, people were looking for faster horses. People were looking for faster horses. They were not looking for cars. They didn't even know how cars would impact their lives.
Yeah, they didn't conceptualize how. Something that.
And so the faster horse came, and in fact, they had to rate cars in terms of horses.
Wow.
In order for people to see.
They had nothing else to compare it to. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Amen. Wow, that's huge, man. But that speaks to so much. Even when we look at, I talk to a lot of pastors. It's so funny. Then the pandemic happened, and everybody who didn't want to be online, you got to come down here and sit in my church. You know what I mean? You want to play the food? You sit here and hear me preach. We got all these stringent rules, and I'm sitting up here like, I said, where's the love? Where's the growth? I mean,
where's the ministry? Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, like, is everything predicated on what you did and how your grandmama did you? I said, your grandmama didn't understand any of what's going on right now. So it's a moot point to even bring it up.
Yeah.
outside of, bro, we already on the same page, right?
Listen, you already know I'm 5,000% with you, man. I was interviewed by a magazine. I'm not even going to say the name, but I was interviewed by a magazine, and this was at the early part of the pandemic, and we were talking about ministry. Actually, we're talking just same
Amen.
conversation you were talking about. It's like why is it that the church has not recognized the exponential potential and opportunity that is online? And I said this because we don't actually fish where the fish are. We fish where we're in a pond where these fish are already caught. Actually, the analogy is actually we're not fishing in a pond. We're fishing in a fish tank.
Amen.
These fish already belong to us. We're not actually fishing out in the wild where the fish are. And that is the microcosm. That is the challenge for many people today, is seeing the opportunity and stepping out into the unknown to try and make space. And so
To even
there are
try,
many people like, I count myself among them. People count me among them is the term I want to say. But I feel like I've followed others out into this space. They've created space for me to be able to come out in this quote unquote unknown space and make a way for others to have a framework to be able to experience online. And in a ministry capacity, but also from an entrepreneurial capacity as well. So it's just one of those things, man. The more things change, the more they remain the same.
That's the truth, bro. And it's sad because, how many years a ministry will stay stuck, and God will give you the people that you need. And you see all these people who may be like a little different from the pastor, and a lot of time the pastor be like, well, y'all got to catch my vision. Like, we got your vision, but there's nuance to your vision that you may not understand or flow with, So, it really is. It's a tough thing, man. And that's why I think that in Philly, man, it's literally like I give you for instance, where the station is, where I'm at the station, there are literally in a 4-block radius, four block radius, there's over 30 churches, literally, because I count them. I do this on and I'm sitting here going, really? 30 churches? And I just wonder, like, man, I can't even.
Crazy. And
it is crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. But it's not crazy if those churches are impacting the community, right? It's not crazy if those churches are lighthouses. It's not crazy if those churches are the places that the community runs to when something happens. It's not crazy if those communities see those churches as assets, like that they're part and parcel of who we are in this community. It's not crazy if they're having impact. It's not crazy if they're touching lives.
See, the thing about it, I think where we miss it at, when I just look at as you talk about the practical stuff, let's feed folks. Let's go read to these people. Let's go over here and do this. Let's go over here and do that. A lot of that, and it doesn't go on, and it really gets me. I'm like, well, wow. I said, man. I said, are we that stubborn, Lord? Are we all that stubborn that we don't want to collaborate or submit or allow people to do the thing that God has placed in them, to go forward to do that thing, not to take over your church, but just to do the thing that God called me to do. Let me get my slice of the pie. Let me just do that. But
it's a sad reality. And one of the things I often find interesting as I work with young people, especially, young people of faith, is that one of their major issues with the church is that it's not as tangible. Right, it's not as practical. Like, we can't see the impact and effect of the church on the community. Yeah, and so they gravitate towards organizations that are doing those things. Now, there are a set of young people who they just, it's all talk. They have no desire of helping people. But there is a component of, no, they have no desire, or it's just one of their retorts to say, I'm against the church. But there is a set. There's a very valid set, and it's evidenced by the fact that they will find those organizations and entities that are making a difference, that are having impact in the community, and they will volunteer their time. They'll give their resources. They will do whatever is necessary when they find those spaces. So clearly, we have an opportunity in being tangible in our communities that we can absolutely take advantage of. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that the Lord is doing something down there. So I am thankful for that we're responding. But let's do this, man. Let's go back in time, man. Let's go back to young Kirk, man. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Let's go back to young Kirk. Like how did this all happen? Like when you were coming up, were you like a computer guy? You know what I mean? I know you was a heavy thinker, but how was that leading up into your adulthood?
So I am in the middle of the middle. I like to say that because I have 5 siblings, two older, 2 younger. So I'm the middle of the middle, right?
Middle, yeah.
and they say, blessed are the middle children, for they shall inherit the earth. No. but the middle children typically, in terms of personality tests, the middle children are peacekeepers. The middle children are the ones that kind of, I'm not really trying to make a lot of arguments. I want there to be peace around.
Yeah.
And so as a typical middle child, that's exactly, the role that I play in my family. And one of the things that I always would do, and I see that in the way that I lead in my career, in the way that I minister, in the way that I lead folks on YouTube as well, is I always want to hear from the person. I want to hear directly from the person. I want to hear in your own words, what is ailing you? What is, what is the issue? And then I always try to speak the language of the people. And because, and of course, as simply as you have your own little code, but I'm saying this to say, even when I was in IT, I worked in government, right? So I was my first job out of college was working at NASA, Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. And so I was able to work there and learn government. So yes, I was in technology, but I had to learn the language of government, the language of contracting and all that space. And then from there, I moved on to T. Rowe Price, which is stocks, bonds, mutual funds. It's an investment firm. So then I had to learn the language of finance, right? Had to learn the language of money. Had to learn the language of portfolios, of analysts, of traders, right? the language of people who had means and power and ability. Yeah. And then I went into the non-governmental space, right? So the nonprofit space, working for the a global Christian denomination, and as a missionary, and had to learn that language. And then went into higher ed and had to learn that language. And so one of the things I saw as a recurring theme from childhood all the way till now, as a content creator, as a YouTuber, as a media pastor, is I always sought to learn the language of the people that I was called to serve, the language of the people I was called to work with. I wanted to speak in their native tongue, so that it wasn't a speaking down to, it wasn't a I'm better and you need to listen. It was an issue of a conversation. And in that conversation, we could find solutions. In that conversation, we could chart the way forward. In that conversation, we could become friends and develop mutual respect and love for one another. So that's always been part and parcel of me. I definitely was a rambunctious kid, had a lot of energy. In fact, one of my nicknames was Energy growing up, but always found some unique That's and cool. interesting ways to funnel that energy into the things that I do. My mom still says to this day, she's like, I don't know how you have so much energy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, like you're real constructive. Yeah, that's good, man. So let me ask you this. So you're coming up, as you said, I see what you mean. How you just name all these different facets of what God put you into. So
Yeah.
you got, you got your finance, you got,
Yeah.
you're traveling, you got, you have to
Right.
do set up missions, and they all help people, but they all have specifics that you're dealing with. And it's like, God, I look at you, I'm like, I don't know what God doing with you, man. he got you doing a little bit of everything, man. But that's beautiful, man, because he made us. He know us. You know what I mean? So he made you. So
that's it.
So yeah. So you doing this, man. So how did you meet your wife? But all that you're doing, how did you meet your wife? When did this intersect? You know what I mean? How did Kirk fall in love and put everything on pause, man?
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one, man. That is a good one. So we met as friends. We actually met as friends. She's in the technology field as well. She's actually a web designer now. Currently, she's a web designer. But when I met her, we were actually in the, she was actually in the same similar line of work. So she had done information systems degree, and I was working in the tech field. And so we both actually happened to be at church one Wednesday night. And she went up to give this testimony of, she'd moved to the area and really was struggling to find work in the technology field. And folks were like, yo, you need to talk to Kirk because he's in the tech field and he might be able to hook you up. And so for sure, I was able to put her in touch with a couple of folks that I'd worked with in different capacities. And she was able to actually get into actually more than one job over that course of time. And again, like I said, when we met, we were friends first. But I always like to tell folks that we did meet at prayer meeting. I never want to make sure, I never want to exclude that part from the story. We met. Our first encounter was at prayer meeting. Folks always ask, wait, where'd you meet your wife? I met my wife at prayer meeting, y'all. It still can happen to this day. Prayer meeting is still a place where you can actually, come on.
It's a place.
It's a place. It is a place. Now, I'm not saying that you go there to meet your wife. I'm just saying that you may meet your wife at prayer meeting.
I'd rather meet her there than
have mercy.
Hey, look, man, you know how it is. When you first saw your wife, did you know that she was the one? Did you when you saw her, you said she came up? Yeah, you didn't know?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I like I said, we when we met, we were friends. I was just, like I said, I was trying to connect her to different people. I would say it was a couple months. I want to say about 3 or 4 months after we met. And let me tell you, this is God's timing as well, because both of us were in something when we met. Amen. But about 3-4 months later, we bumped into one another again. At this point, we knew one another, but we just kind of bumped into one another again. It actually happened to be another Wednesday night, and a good friend of hers wanted to hang out with a good friend of mine. And it was like, oh, do you know Kirk? Yeah, I know Kirk. Oh, you know Kenny? Yeah, I know Kenny. Okay, oh, all right, cool. So let's go. Yeah, no worries. So we hang out and just got to talking. I followed up with her about the job and several things, and things just kind of progressed from there. And again, like I said, at that stage, 3-4 months later, we were both free. Let me say it that way, right? We were both free and open to other opportunities, let's say it that way. But no,
to progress.
God kind of set that thing up. I think we met and yes, I helped her find a job and we became, acquaintances. I wouldn't say we became good friends, but it's not until that second time that we kind of ran into one another again that we really started to take interest in one another, to hang out. I will say that I feel like I knew she was the one before she did. I just was like, I'd had several conversations with God about this thing. I was like, look, God, I don't know if I can't date her because she's marriage material. You know how we say these things like, no, she's marriage material. Man, I'm not ready to date her because she's marriage material. And I remember hearing God say this thing, man. This thing hit me like a ton of bricks. God was like, I can't keep sending you marriage material if you're not going to date the marriage material. I mean, so
I made you take that one.
Like, are you saying that so she's good? She is a type of woman that you would marry, and you're saying you can't date her? because she's too good. And I just remember saying to myself, like, yeah, God, that don't make no sense. That don't make no
Yeah, I
sense.
know, right? You the opposite of
Yeah,
Israel
yeah.
when God was like, "Here, okay, date that one over there," and it was like, "Yo, she about everything." He sent you the
Listen,
good one. You like, nah, I can't.
no, I can't really do this. And God's like, what? So I send you the right one, and you're saying this is the one, but you can't date her because she's marriage material. Yeah.
Amen.
That doesn't
Amen.
make any sense.
No, no, yeah, exactly. But you know what, man? We go. Some of us, man, we go through that, man. So what was the moment? I got to know the moment, man, when you was like, when they clicked, like, yo, I got to be in her presence. I got to, because
Yeah.
you know how we get when we fall in love, man. It's like I
Yeah.
have to be in your. I'm smitten. I have to be in your presence, and I don't want no other dude there. So.
Nah, it was one of the, it was we became really good friends.
Okay.
I've felt like there was more, but I really hadn't expressed that. So we became really good friends. We bonded over so many different things. Like I said, she's in the tech field. I'm in the tech field. So, we had things in common. And then, there's just so many different things. It's like, oh, you want to do this? Yeah. I'll go and come hang out. So she would come and hang out with me for different things that I was doing, or different places that I would go. It's like, all right, let's go to this poetry club. Let's go to this. Let's go to catch this. Let's go, take in this concert. And I remember, man, we got to the point where we would
Y'all dating and didn't know it.
We didn't even know. So a friend of mine invited me to an event, and I remember him saying, "You're gonna bring Kanique, right?" I was like, "Well, yeah, if she wants to come." And he was like, "Wait, y'all still not dating?" He said, "You guys know y'all dating, right?" And I was like, "Oh no, we haven't made anything official." He's like, "Kirk, man, just bring the girl. We all know you gonna bring her, so just go ahead." And I just remember saying, oh, "Man, so everybody else sees this thing. I haven't even made this joint official." So later on that same night, I went to drop her back at her apartment, and we ended up just sitting in the car talking for the entire night. Like the sun was coming up, man.
Isn't that beautiful, man? Anyway, go ahead.
It is.
It is. It's so much excitement and fun, man.
Yeah,
isn't it? Oh, man.
Yeah. And you know what? I will say this: we can still talk. To this day, we can still talk till all hours. Like we will be on a 10-hour drive, no music on, the two of us in the front seat just talking. The kids are in the back, like, what are y'all doing? How can you talk to one another like this? So, yeah. Still to this day, we still can talk like that. And I know some folks are like, yeah, I remember those days where, you be on the phone and you don't want to hang up. You're like, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, I'm not talking about that. Yeah, we did that. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, literally sitting, I'm in the parking lot of her apartment. We're in the car, just sitting there talking. Nothing else going on, just
nothing
talking.
Else.
And we didn't want to be nowhere else. We didn't want to be nowhere else.
But Kirk, you know what that is, man? I always preach this to people. I said, when I first met my wife is Adrian, sister A. I saw her. I liked her. I was with somebody, so I had to, but I became her. Yeah, what I did was I became her friend and hung around her for 1 year. Never told her I liked her. I just hung around her to be her friend because I wanted to get to know who she was. The friendship aspect is so. See, man, I keep telling everybody. I said, I understand you want everybody to be your queen and that's your king, and you want to feed them food. I said, but let me say, a lot of that stuff is fleeting, man. Can I rap to you? Can I make you laugh? Can you talk to me about things that concern you, and I can listen and then give you not exchange information, but give you something that can help you go to the next level with it. That's relationship, man. That's real relationship. And people don't get. I was like, do you know how wonderful it is when you are cool with your wife and you can sit up and go, my daughter always say, Dad always up under mom like that. Why are you always up under mom? I was like, that's my friend. If I wasn't up under, you wouldn't be here, Negro.
That's my friend. Listen, that's really the testimony is that, we definitely are madly in love, deeply in love still to this day, 16 years later. But we were friends first. And that friendship remains, and it continues to be a huge part of our of the staying power in our relationship. Of course, God is also part of that as well. I mean, I think that's he kind of orchestrated the whole thing, as I mentioned. Several of those conversations that that I had with God. You know, sometimes God be playing me, man. He just like, man, you're not making any sense right now. You're just not making any sense. But you know, it's those moments where you can have that moment of clarity. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm not making sense. Clearly, I like this girl. Clearly, she's marriage material. So, I mean, we skipped so many different steps. We started dating, and then, you know, shortly thereafter, we got engaged because we already knew what we wanted to do. So,
amen. Yeah. So I got one more for you. It's still concerning marriage. Okay.
Come on.
How did you propose? I got to hear about the proposal, man. I know you did something, Kirk. Come on, baby.
Listen. This is a story and a half, man. That's why I'm laughing, because I'm like, how did you even know to ask this question? But no, so I did a man. Listen, it was a full day. Man, I'm trying to think of what's the best way to start this thing. So she went to work. I had already talked to her boss, and I talked to her coworkers about what was going to be happening that day. And so her boss knew, you know, to give her the day off because I needed to do some things. I had a friend who ran a limo company. We were in Baltimore, Maryland at the time, by the way. So just down the street from you. But I had a friend that ran a limo company. And so I had the friend go with his limo to her workplace to pick her up. So the limo gets there, you know, because the boss had kind of told some of the other, some of the other coworkers, like, oh, this is what's happening. And so everybody comes around like, Kanik, there's somebody here for you. So she comes out, sees this limo. She's like, what in the world's going on? Her coworkers, some of her girls from work, bring her things to her. So she gets into the limo. She's like, what's going on? I had a letter there in the limo that just kind of explained, you know, a little bit, just to say, hey, I've got a day of pampering for you. So just sit back, relax, and just go with the flow for today. Everything has already been talked through. Everything is approved. Your boss knows everything is good. So just chill. The roses in the limo. So she gets in the limo. So like, all right, cool. So he takes her to a spa. Some of her girls are there. They have a spa day. They do the mani-pedi. They do the things. They get the massage, everything. So then we go. The limo comes back, takes her to, I don't know if you know, the Galleria downtown. Anyway, takes her to a place downtown that and then when she gets there, there's a room with her name on it that she could grab the key from the front desk. So she goes in, gets to the room, gets her key in the room. There's another set of roses, another card. In that card is some cash. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and find something. The hotel was connected to a mall. So I said, find something nice because we're going out tonight. So she goes, she finds a nice outfit, and she gets back to the room. There's another card and another set of roses. Listen, man, this thing was crazy. And then she finally, there was a restaurant at the top of this place. It kind of overlooks the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. And so we had reservations there. The folks there already knew what time it was. We had a seat like right at the corner spot, right by the glass looking out over the harbor. They take her to her seat. While she's sitting there, then I finally come in. Man, she about jumped out of the chair, Doc. Ran over. It's like, what in the world? All day I've been waiting for you. So I, sit her back down. I'm like, because I came to do something. I'm not here. I'm about business. We're not about this hug.
I'm about business. Yeah.
Sit down. Sit down.
Kirk and binary code, baby.
Sit down. So I get in there. I get down to one knee. I say my things. Say what I needed to say. I ask the question. And then she kind of paused, and I'm looking at her like, don't make me wait now. Don't make me. No, then she jumped up. She jumped up and was like, I definitely can't wait to marry you. And so that's how we got engaged, man. That's how we got engaged. It was a story and a half, brother. I know I'm not doing it justice.
That's beautiful, man.
She tells it way better than I do, man.
Of course. Hey, listen, now you see why we want the more here, man. I'll be like, they give all the in between stuff, man.
All the intricate pieces, man.
Yeah, man, that's the beauty. But no, man, that's beautiful, dude. And
Yeah,
you know,
man.
you went through and see what I mean, the friendship, because see, that's your friend and you love her, and they say, I'm willing
Absolutely.
to do this for you.
Oh yeah.
Because I love you. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
happy. I know this about you. I know where you like to get your feet and
Mm-hmm.
your hands
Mm-hmm.
dirty. I know
Mm-hmm.
all this
Mm-hmm.
because I'm your friend. Because we just rap, just in general, we just talk. And I
Certain.
said, people,
That's
you
it
know
right
how
there. That's it.
important that is. That is so important. I'm like, man, I said, we're missing it, man. But anyway, oh man, I
Man,
love
no.
that.
Listen, man. You listen. It brings back good memories, man. It brings back good memories, man. That's why when I laughed when you said, now I need to hear the engagement story. I was like, wow, how did you know to ask that? That's awesome. That is awesome. Happy to
Yeah,
share
man.
that, man.
We. Oh yeah, man. We love hearing that, man, because we all about family, man. We want you
That's what's
know,
up.
because that's what God is about. You know what I mean? That's God thing, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's that family component, man. So now you guys are married. You moving forward now. Now
Hmm.
now we're going to come into how did this start? How did the whole online mentoring ship start?
Oh
How did
man.
that kick off?
So it's kind of something that I've been doing unofficially for quite some time, right? Not with
Hmm.
any YouTube platform or anything like that. People would just come and be like, "Hey, how do I get started with this? How do I do this? How do I do that?" When we lived in South Africa, I had started a YouTube channel there, two YouTube channels. One
You
was
lived in South
fitness.
Africa?
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's why I said we served as missionaries. We served as
Yeah,
missionaries in South
I
Africa,
know, man.
man.
I didn't know you lived there though. Because sometimes when people are missionaries, they'll be there for like a month. You know what I
Oh no,
mean?
5 years.
5 years.
2010 to 2015. Yes, sir.
You did a bid for 5. Are you kidding me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
5 years. So let me
Oh
ask
yeah.
you this: so when you went over to Africa, was it did you go over as a couple or did you go over
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Were you
Yeah.
single?
We
Yo,
no, we had both kids. Our youngest was
oh
4 months
my
old when we
God.
moved to South Africa. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo,
Yes,
man,
sir.
you truly are a different person, man. Are you kidding me? No, that's beautiful though, man. And the fact that you
Oh,
both of you
trust
went
me.
lets me know that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is probably one of the biggest, or let me say, the most memorable things that we've done as a family is that to make that move to South Africa and then of course coming back because that cemented us. I say this to young couples all the time, especially newlyweds. There's nothing better for your marriage than for you to go into a new space where people don't know you as single. They don't know
Mhm.
you as individuals. They only know you
Mhm.
as a couple,
As a unit.
and
Yeah.
because people move differently around you when you have that space. I have
Mhm.
seen several because those old flames will come calling because they only know how to move with you in a certain way because they only know you as a single person, right? They
Yeah, they
only
only
know
need
you
that
as an
capacity. Yeah.
available person. So when
Yeah.
you move to a space, now that's not to say that this is a foolproof plan. I'm just saying when you move to a space where, especially like us, we moved to South Africa. There was, our home was the only culture that was home. Everything else was foreign.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
language, the food, the people, everything else was foreign. And so when we were at home, we were at home. Like that what I would say to folks is home is no longer an address. Home is wherever Kanika and the
Mhm.
kids are. Like that's home.
Amen.
So we when that thing galvanized us together as a unit like nothing else could. And so
Mm.
I believe that firmly that even to this day, like we both work together at home, which
Mhm.
would drive some couples absolutely bananas. But I believe that because of the time we spent overseas, and
Yeah.
because of that close proximity, and the fact that all we had was us,
Amen.
we're fine like this. We're fine in this space like this. But yeah, so yeah, we lived in South Africa for 5 years. Kids were born in Baltimore, and we moved there, and they had some of their formative years there, and then we moved from South Africa to here, where we are now in Huntsville, Alabama, and so I moved here to be chief information officer at a university, and that worked out well. And I ended up going to another university where I was also chief technology officer. But I just kind of knew that was coming to a close. Always knew I wanted to do media, and everywhere, when I was in South Africa, they gave the media team to me. When I was at Oakwood University, they gave the media team to me. When I was at Wallace State, which is the other place that I worked, they gave the media team to me. So I always knew that media was going to be this thing that I wanted to do. So even as we created the business 10 years ago, we always built in a component of media, even though that's not what my wife does. She does web design. So we built this business as a web design and media firm. That was how we built the business, even though the media side wasn't really functioning because I wasn't in it. So when the pandemic hit, man, there's so many things that we had already had in place, and we were thinking through, trying to just pace it, trying to figure out what the right moment was. And the pandemic was that was the last thing that kind of just pushed us over the edge and said, this is the time for us to really take a bet on ourselves. Everybody's home anyway. Why not take a bet on us? Take a bet on what we can do and really see if we can make a go of this thing. So yeah, I mean, notwithstanding, there's some other stories and other experiences that kind of led us down that path. And I often add here that if anyone is thinking, man, Kirk took the leap of faith, I can do it too. I want you to understand that I took the leap of faith from working a 9-to-5 into a business that we had built for 10 years.
Yeah.
You understand
Yeah. It wasn't just
we're not talking about, it's not like
it wasn't,
boom, I just decided to get out. No, we had accounts payable, receivable. We had, we had ways to make money immediately. I could leave work today and send an invoice out tomorrow. Not many people cannot say that because they don't have a business set up. So I always hasten to add that because I don't want people to feel like, oh, Kirk said I just need to jump out and do it. No, you need to prepare. You need to prepare.
Kirk, I've been saying that for years. I said, everybody told me, oh yeah, I just leaped. I said, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Everybody would, I'm just gonna leap, and we all can be entrepreneurs. I was like, look, you better make sure that you have shelter and you have food and you have some income coming in. I said, everybody can't just abandon everything and just leap out here. I said, it's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5 where you make provide a living for your family or yourself. I said, so
no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's not at all.
I absolutely believe there's nothing wrong with it. That I think that people have been doing a 9-to-5 for years. It is a reputable way to make a living. You can find value, you can find fulfillment, you can find purpose in your 9-to-5. It is not only found in entrepreneurship, but what I often say to folks is, if you are interested in becoming an entrepreneur, if you're interested in going to these spaces, you need to ask yourself a couple of critical questions. Number one, do you know how to deny yourself?
Yeah.
If you don't know how to deny yourself, you do not need to be an entrepreneur.
Wow.
Do you know how to save?
That is so true, but I never heard it like that. But go ahead, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No. Listen, I tell people, listen, I know I want to sugarcoat this thing. Do you know how to deny yourself? Like yes, you have the money to buy that brand new camera for $2,000, but should you? Yeah. Because just because you're making money this month doesn't mean you're going to be making money next month. That's the life of an entrepreneur.
Bro,
you have all the rights to be a millionaire and a pauper all at the same time.
Amen.
Amen. So the ebbs and flows mean you've got to be able to ride out the roller coaster by making what has come in now last. Yeah. And so that's the first question is, do you know how to deny yourself? Number two, are you a person of your word? Can you follow through? Can you follow through? I can't tell you how many people I work with, and the only reason why they still come back to us is because they know we follow through, and they can't.
Wow.
They come back because they're like, man, if I know if I go to Kirk and Kanique, it'll get done. Because we'll be after them to get it done.
Wow.
And so that's the second piece. But the last piece, and this is the most critical. Do you know how to build systems? Systems.
Wow.
The difference between a side hustle and a business, an entrepreneur, is the systems that you set up in place.
Yeah.
The systems will allow you to get paid while you're sleeping at night.
Mm-hmm.
The side hustle is waiting for you to hit me on the Cash App. No.
Yeah.
The side hustle is waiting for you to, send me to Zelle. No.
Hey, bro, I know plenty because I worked in the finance department for years for health insurance, man, and my side hustle always was like go setting up sound for different events, churches, and bro, you don't know how many nights. Oh yeah, come on down, bro. I'm gonna pay you next Wednesday. Meet me right here, park there, and I'll be right out. And I'm like, I said, what is all this? I said, what is this, man? I feel like Carmen San Diego. You go meet in these secret places, meet me, turn your back to the east, and I'm gonna put a bag in your hand, and I'm like, man, listen.
No,
I'm a big bro. Kirk. Look. I'm 276'4", man. I can't be out here all the time tonight coming out.
No.
Yeah, I ain't no child, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, I've been through all that, and wait till the end. I'm gonna get you, and and see that's the hustle. It was, it was good. It was while it lasted. It gave some extra money, but man, it's like, come on, man. I ain't no child, man. Give me my money now. Give me my money. That's why we talking.
Yeah. Make sure that people get paid, man. With my team, man, I make sure they get paid before I get paid.
Amen.
That's non-negotiable. I ask you to work. So whether I get paid or not, you got to get paid.
Yeah.
So, and those are the types of things, man, when people think that, well, I have this thing, I have this service, I have this product, I have this thing, it's genius. I need to go into business for myself so I can sell it. No, you might want to sell that thing because you don't have the discipline to go into business for yourself. You go into business for yourself, you're going to lose a lot of money. You might get sued. You might not set things up properly. You don't have the systems in place. You can't get paid. Not good. And when we talk about this, that whole idea of jumping in, right? Just dive in. The water's fine. I always used to hear that term. Come on, Kirk, dive in. The water's fine. And I just keep on saying to folks,
Steve Harvey got a lot of black folks just jumping all over the place. Yeah. I'm not with it. I'm not with it because everybody is not an entrepreneur, and and everybody keep telling you that you are, and I'm like, you see him on here. Oh, you stupid! You got to go out and you got to start that. Just go ahead and do it. I'm like, yeah. So when I said when that mortgage is due at the end of the month, be sure to send them their check because it's going to be there waiting for you. All these bills going to be sitting right there, man. And but it is. You're right.
I asked one young brother. I was like, "How much you got saved up?" He's like, "Well, I got a little something. I got a little something put aside." I was like, "No, seriously. How much you got saved up?" He's like, "Well, you want me to tell you the actual number?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I got a couple hundred." I said, "Couple hundred? How much are your bills per month?" He said, "Well, I guess I'd have to calculate." I was like, "You don't know how much your bills are per month, and you want to go into entrepreneurship?" No,
bro.
No, the 9 to 5 is saving you.
Yeah. If you don't know what your bills are per month, I hate to say it like this, because I know somebody. I know I'm gonna get an email, but that means that you don't pay your bills.
That's right.
You don't pay your bills.
You don't know what your bills are.
No. You skipping all over the place somewhere, man. That look, every month I gotta have $6,000.
Boom. I know. It's the budget is right here. That's what it is. That's what I need every month.
Yeah.
How do we not know that? I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
Why, and that's why that folk are just skating by, man. Folk are just skating by. They had to register at Walmart and they swipe the card and they're like, oh, there's what?
I went through.
No, I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. I know exactly what's in there.
No,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah, you
that's
got
a
to.
component of responsibility that comes with time. It sometimes comes with age, but it also comes with personality types. And these are some of the things that I recognize that are transferable. So it doesn't just happen in these one areas of their lives. One of the things that most people don't recognize is that being a content creator, being a live streamer, being a video producer, it is a component of entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
Being able to manage your own time, being able to govern yourself accordingly, to be able
Yeah,
to take to be respectful of other people's time. Because I mean, when you're live, you
yeah,
got people watching. How are you
yeah,
doing those things? And so it is a microcosm. If you can't manage things over here, you probably can't manage things over here. So even as I coach folks, you can tell very quickly, like, oh, you're not really actually going to do anything because
yeah.
you don't really you
I'm
don't
not
really
gonna.
see this as a. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I know how I am. It's frustrating to me because I see, how you see potential people like, hey, listen, you be real good at this or that,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I have this thing where I do coach people for different shows that they do. I produce for
Sure,
online
sure.
shows, and it's like one week it's like, oh yeah, they gung ho. Then the next week it's like you can't find them. I'm like, where you at? We supposed to meet on this time for an hour and a half. We're going over the next
Mm,
phase to go over this, and nowhere to be found. And I'm just sitting here like, well, this is something that you said that the Lord told you to do. This is what you
mercy.
told me. You know what I mean? I always play with them because I'm from like a charismatic background, apostolic craft. And I always say, I
Mm-hmm.
said,
Mm-hmm.
charismatic folks are the hardest folk to work with. I said, because every 5 minutes y'all go to sleep, God done told you something different.
That right there, that's part of the issue. That's part of the issue. But what's interesting with that is there are if they were really interested, if they had it in their heart to do,
Hmm.
they would figure it out. And see, this is why what I love about the space that I'm in is helping people understand their why. Because there are people, I'll tell
Hmm.
you, quite candidly, there are people that come for coaching. They believe they're there for one thing, and maybe they're there to figure out some of the technology behind using StreamYard or Ecamm, or how to what should I do in terms of time and topic and stuff like that. But what we end up
Hmm.
finding is their why they
Hmm.
want to do this thing. And let me tell you something.
Hmm.
There's nothing more magical than when somebody finds their why. Because
Hmm.
that why is not just a motivator for why they want to create content. It's a why. That why is why they want to do life. It's why
Yeah.
they show up. It's what gets them up in the morning. It's what motivates them. And when you help people find their why, I mean, even folks who I'm thinking to myself, this person is never going to make it in content creation. But when they find that why,
Man.
it's, oh my
Yeah.
goodness,
The word
it
fact.
is
Yeah.
something that
That's true.
God sent, man. It would, you see the transformation happen in a person when they find why they were placed on this earth and the people group that God has uniquely called them to serve. It is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It is beautiful because that's the whole thing, and it's so funny when I start operating in the president role over here. I said, well, I was looking at all the programmers because the first thing I do is I'm like a light bulb. I'm like, I look at everybody. I was looking at everybody's show and go, you know what they could do better. You know what I mean. I'm just looking at
Mm,
everybody's show like they really good at this, and the program director, she was like, well, we just want them to really do this. I said, but if we stay in the same thing, I said, we're gonna get the
yes.
same result we already have. It's
Mm,
like because the radio station is kind of it's it's secular, so it's Monday. I'm the only Christian show on there, and I said we got to change all this up. I said we in the 77% of a black community. I said we have to start to touch these people. They have to see us. They have to know who we are. And it's
mhm.
like I said, don't you know? I said we have to start to pull people up so they can see. You know what I mean? And but sometimes
That's
I don't
good.
know. I was like, are you really a producer? I mean, you may do it to an extent, but if you don't want to go to that extra mile to help people pull something out of them to see that
Mm,
thing that's sitting in there, that diamond, I'm like, then I don't know if if that's really the thing for you. I mean, look, I can't kick you off from doing it, but
That's it.
like
No,
we may have to have a committee of people to do it. You know what I mean? So
there are people who get, they get stuck. They've done
yeah,
something, and it may have been innovative for them at first, but now over time it has become commonplace. It's become their comfort zone. And so when they first got in, they did step out of their comfort zone. They had a big why. But then they get in there and they're like, oh, okay, now I understand the new boundaries here. And now they get comfortable and they just want to continue to maintain. And they lose that zest for newness. They lose that zest for innovation and learning. I mean, this is the other piece that is such a massive component. I said to the young man I met with just 10 minutes before I got on with you, he was asking me about, I want to start this new podcast. And I just asked him, how many podcasts do you listen to? How much YouTube do you consume? He's like, well, not much. I was like, man, let me tell you, the best way for you to understand podcasts is to be able to listen to podcasts. This is the ultimate cheat code. The best way for you to, understand innovation as a concept that you can apply anywhere is for you to be able to constantly look for innovation. So innovators or innovation isn't something that is a decision. It's more of a decision than anything else. I choose to be a little bit better today than I was yesterday.
Amen.
That's innovation.
No, I'm gonna tell you something. You do a wonderful job, man. You the truth. I mean, from how you convey, man, and the fact, this is the part I love about your show. When you start to interact with on the Amazon side, and you start to do your thing with your giveaways, and you the people who are coming in, and you make everyone feel like in other words, you let them know that you see them. You know what I mean? That's so important. I have to let you know that I see it, because that makes people just calm down. We always trying to, I just love that, man. I'm gonna say that because that is so important. And and when you do your giveaways, your little duck races, man, I'll be over here hollering, man. You don't know, man.
Come on.
I'm like, look at Kirk.
Oh my goodness. Listen, I be yelling on there, man. I be yelling on there.
Yeah, man. You're the one, man, because see, man, people don't understand, man. I'd rather have 3,000 faithful people than 20,000 I don't know. That is so. I was like, man, when you start to really dig in and you learn these people and they learn in you, and man, it creates a bond, man, and it helps you. You're sort of like Solomon. He was like, yeah, teach me how to go in and come out. Let me know your people so I know how to handle and deal with them. I'm not gonna be somebody over here sitting in the ivory tower like, who wants what? You know what I mean? Okay, maybe
Mercy.
But I just think that is so beautiful, man, that you do that and you take the time, man. I keep telling you the truth, man.
Listen, man. I truly appreciate that, man. Those are music to my ears, as they say. Not just because I love hearing that kind of thing. I'm telling you, it is. There are some times where you say to yourself, man, is this thing making sense? Should we continue down this path? But when you hear comments like those, you're like, man, people are being affected. People are getting it, because the point for which I go live isn't only because I want to establish myself as a thought leader or only to develop a steady stream of referral-based income. I go live because I want to galvanize an audience around a particular concept, particular ideas. Like, you can succeed, you can get your message out there. Like, your story is worth telling, and because your story is worth telling, you need to learn the vehicle of live streaming to be able to get it to a broader audience. And that's really the main thing. And again, like I said, once you find out what that why is, man, a lot of things begin to fall into place.
No, yeah. And I'm just saying, you're the one, man. You're the one. I just want to say, man, I appreciate you, man, just taking time out with me tonight, man. I think that, it really means the world to me, man. Because me and my wife, I keep telling people, we just love people. We love people, man. Because I'm like, my friend, he said, why are you always laughing through this? I said, because I be happy, man. I don't know. I said, what do you want me to do? So they with a mean face.
Yeah. What's the alternative?
I know, right? What do you want me to do, man? I said, hey, listen. It is, man. Yeah, man. I mean, once you start going on camera, bro, everybody got opinions. Everybody want to know. I remember when I had the first time I had Creflo Dollar on, and everybody. That's back when the jet thing came on. Ask him about the jet. Ask him about the jet. I was like, man, I'm talking to this man because he had Mike Brown on, and he was talking about, he had Mike Brown, parents on, and he was, going in like, hey, we have to console his family right now. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And then he came back on when George Floyd gave him. I said, man, look, this is about content, man. It's not about what you think about what jet he need and don't need and all this other stuff. I said, man, listen. I said, if God buy him a jet, God bless him. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to do with that. I said, I want to know about the real stuff. Exactly. It's none of my business. Why am I losing sleep over something that he has? I don't get it. I'm like, man, I got my own. I've been married 29 years. I got 3 kids. I got enough on my plate. You know what I mean?
Listen, and that's the thing is, if you're not content with what you got, man, that's what happens. You look around and you start seeing other people, and you start asking yourself the question, why them? Why not me? And that's just not a space that I exist in, man. It's not a space that I exist in at all.
Not at all, man. But Kirk, I thank you, brother. I know you're tired, man. I can see it on you, brother. I can see it. You hanging on, man.
They got me up early these days, man. I'm doing a show at 6:00 in the morning these days, man. It's crazy.
Wow. So how do you do? You do a lot of live stuff, but you do some. I guess live. You do some pre-recorded. Yeah.
No, this particular show happens to be live. Yeah.
Wow, man. Hey, listen, bro. I keep telling you the man, bro. They been 6:00. Woo. Yeah, we early risers. But come on, man. Man, that's
no. I got to be in the studio at 5:15. Preferably 5, but 5:15 latest. Get everything ready and then go live at 6. So it's interesting. Listen, I wouldn't have it any other way. I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah. No, I know you do, man. I love the other day. You did the Family Feud, right? And I think, and you and your wife was on. I was like, see, there they go. I said, nah. I got to jump on these off. I said, that was awesome. Beautiful to see, man. Man. Hey, listen, man. Black love, baby. I love it. I love it, man.
Love it, man.
Bless you guys, man. And keep up the good work, bro. You know what I mean? I'm always out here watching you. Amen.
Same to you. Appreciate the opportunity to come and talk and share, man. Definitely.
Amen. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Hey, look, enjoy your night, bro.
Same to you, man. All right. Take care.
God bless.
This is Kirk Nugent, a.k.a. the Geek Speaker Preacher, and you're listening to the Praise Alleluia Show with Brother D and Sister A. The